What you got going on over there? Random rambling, it's a lot over here, so just keep up. Welcome to my life, be like real life, told by QV. What it look like this week? We got an hour for you to save the world. Let's go. I'm so happy to have you here.
How y'all doing? Y'all alright? Alright. I'm alright. Here we are. Again, another week. Or like I like to say, another day, another dollar. Welcome to My Life Be Like. Real stories told by QV. And if you're hearing this voice, it must be QV, because who else is it gonna be, boo? So let's jump right on to it. I hope y'all had a great week, and I'm sorry I'm late, but I had out of town company this weekend, so I had to entertain my out of town company this weekend. Don't be mad at me, too mad, please, pretty please, pretty please. All right. So let's jump right on into it. My life be like this week. It is a living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. It's coming up on the first again, and I still don't have a part-time job yet. Still, the rejections are just like piling up, and I legit don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do. I'm tired. On the other side, school starts back in a couple of days. For me, I got about another week, I think. School starting on the 6th for me. But at the same time, mortgage due on the 15th, and I still don't have a job or anything to cover it. I don't have the money to pay somebody to just keep Christian so I can go Instacart or something. And I don't even think, with the way that Instacart is so saturated now, I don't even think I can come up with the money like that. Or nor do I have the time and space. See, the thing about Instacart is usually good in the daytime. By the time I get off work, it's the $2, $3, $4, $5 orders. So I would literally have to have somebody to watch Christian. Like, they would have to get her before 6 a.m. on Saturday, like before the stores open, so I could try to grab some of those nicer orders at the beginning of the day. I don't know. And then, even now, if you don't know, I'm nursing an injury. So really and truthfully, I can't even walk around the store and do Instacart and stuff like that. I went to the doctor Friday to see about my legs and my ankle and stuff, and they're put me on some steroids and stuff to try to see what they're gonna do about it. But I have a little over a month. I'm co-hosting a worship service in North Carolina, and yeah, my legs ain't even up to par. I hadn't danced all year. This is probably the longest time in a year that I've went without dancing. Like October. I mean, I hadn't danced, I don't think, since before. I don't know. I don't think I've danced since um I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Probably October of last year. So I think I've been off for a whole year. This These legs, they ain't playing on me. I told them, like, my legs have been fine. Um, Up until it got cold in November, and my legs just, like, they didn't recover. I started having all kind of issues with pain and swelling in my legs. So that's that. So really, Like somebody had mentioned, he's like, but I thought you used Instacart. Yeah, Instacart isn't lucrative as it used to be. One, when I was doing Instacart almost full time, the base pay was higher. The base pay now on Instacart is much lower than what it was, and the tips are almost nothing now, unless you can grab those bigger orders. But again, like I said, my legs, like yesterday, going into Walmart and stuff, I legitimately had to sit in one of the rocking chairs. My legs have gotten to be in very bad shape. Good part in all of this, and I thought it might have been because I might have a blood pressure issue now, because of course I stress out, but no, my blood pressure is fine. Um, it's just these injuries. I had a very complex break and tear in 2016, and it didn't require an operation, but it's one of the ways broke, like it's one of those that would never really completely heal like it should, like it would never be 100%. And lately, I mean, and really, it's been manageable. It's been fine up until like November, when it started getting cold, and it just was this relenting cold. It was just cold to what, March, and my legs just never ever really recovered. That's when I started noticing like the swelling, the pain, and like it's relevating up into my hip. It hurts so bad. Most days I just have to like be careful how I walk, stand. I try to scratch on them. I try to move them, but boy, do they hurt. So I got fit for some compressions at the doctor, because I told him I wear my compression socks, and I still ain't getting no relief. And I know the dangers of taking Tylenols and all that stuff every day. So I was like, I try not to take Tylenols in the leaves and things like that unless I'm just in bad shape. But I feel like I'm in bad shape. Um, at this point, I might need to. She said she was gonna look into some stuff, see what they gonna do, all the things. But she said with it like that, also I need to actually see, um, with, and especially with the swelling, really just being at my joints, um, and not my whole leg, but like all of my swelling is really at my knee, ankle, and toes and stuff like that. There is a possibility that I could have arthritis in both of my legs. So I'm sitting around waiting on a lot of test results and blood work to come back and all the things. So that's what my life be like. Um, I just don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. I hate this for everything. I hate this for myself. I really do. I really, 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 really do. The only other option, and my friend was like, you pretty consistent on TikTok. She was like, you should try the campaign to get more followers on TikTok, so you can at least get your follower count up and get it monetized. Um, so yeah, if you're listening, please go follow me on TikTok. It's at It's All Things QV. It's ITZ All Things QV. Um, gonna help me out so much, because I'm at like 303,000 some followers, and of course you need 10,000 followers to be monetized, and the X amount of viewing hours in the last 30 days. I mean, views in the last 30 days. To get there, and I'm praying that I can get there so I can have some kind of something coming in. Because one thing I do, I record a video. I make you laugh, make myself laugh. Because the only way I feel like now I can get through this is laughing. because it just hurts exceptionally bad. Like, this is not anything I had planned on doing. I was sitting around the other day and I was cleaning out some of my papers and stuff because I know paper recycling is coming up where you can take it to the hall and get your paper shredded, and all of the things that I had planned to do this year and stuff, everything that I had going on this year, I hadn't been able to do anything, and it just made me a whole nother level of frustrated. Um, I'm just tired, borderline defeated. Um, and then when you got people who um call themselves being in their feelings because you can't serve them no more, and but ain't called to ask you and like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? Is it something that you need or whatever? But they got 20,000 things to say out in the street. It's just even more frustrating. Like, girl, boy, shut up. I'm literally in fight or flight these days, living in survival mode. That's where my life is stuck in survival mode. I literally am just trying to survive. Trying to survive. I just feel like everything is overwhelming, it's overstimulating, and it's literally trying to take me out. So I'm trying to keep my 2 feet on the ground and survive. I can give a crap about what you're talking about. And I'm so serious about that. So serious. You can formulate whatever thought or opinion or whatever you want to formulate about me. Um, but just know I'm living in survival mode right now. Just plain survival mode, and I'm so tired of living in it. It's infuriating at this point. We've talked about this, half of this. Like, go get a life. If you're not genuinely concerned about my health and well being, and am I okay, then please keep your raggedy comments and stuff to yourself. I'm gonna be okay. All right, all right. That's that. Cause y'all do a whole lot and too much for me. So I had sat around and getting into topics now, and I was like, oh, I don't even have a topic for next week. I'm working on other things for a later time, but I don't even have a topic for this week. I'm posting a couple places about a topic, um, especially after last week, y'all. So y'all do the most and too much. Like, my exclusive and my subscribers only fed off of my exclusive episode, and my subscribers only fed off of last Saturday's episode, weekly episode, because y'all really do be nutting up about nothing and everything, nothing. So, I got one topic I did, and the first one was like, well, I really feel like with what I was explaining something that had happened to me, and they was like, well, you should really talk about that on your pod, because it's like that's a real problem. They was like, even with me, that's a real problem, and they was like, it's a struggle, and it don't get enough attention or whatever. And I was like, really? And I was like, yeah, I think you should really talk about it. So we're gonna talk about dating. Um, the nitty gritty about dating. Um, all aspects of dating. Especially dating and being in ministry in the church, etc. because, whew, yeah, I don't think, and I've mentioned this, church should be life applicable. Can't even say it. Sound like a acetaminophen over here. Um, and a that's what I sounded like. Church should be life applicable, which means I've noticed the last couple of days about how people are making these videos about deconstructing indoctrination and stuff like that, and they feel like their parents indoctrinated them and made them go to church, and the church made them live in fear and all this stuff, and so now they're atheists and blah 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 blah. Which is, I get that point of view. I understand that point of view and that road. Like I get it. I tell people I've been in church 36 years almost of my life. Like, legitimately, I've been in church since I was 6 weeks old. I was in the church daycare. My church at that time had a daycare that kept 6 week olds when they were born every day. So I've been in church my whole life. The one thing I've never do is ran from it. And I think a lot of reason why I haven't ran from church is because, for the most part, the leaderships that I've been under weren't that power hungry, manipulative, controlling. They were very balanced. Like, this is the Lord, but this is also your life. And this is how we gonna use this to help that type deal. Um, for the most part, my pastors have been very much human. Um, I've never been somebody that worshipped or put my pastors up on a mantle. Not that I've seen them as an equal either. I have respect for them, but I know that these people are human, and I don't know if it's because I'm a minister and I've struggled along the way, and I hadn't been quite the best. So I get it. If I'm struggling, I know you are. Um, or whatever. Whatever. I'm not getting into that. But um my pastors have always taught, you still have a life. Um, as a Christian, you have to live. My pastors were very, for the most part, very adamant, and will tell you, when you get married, you're not gonna go behind that door playing John P. Key and Tamala Man. Like, you gonna have to be be so for real. Like, if you want to date, you can't come on, praise the Lord, how you doing, oh, I'm blessed. Like, you got to be a real person that want to date a real person. And I made this comment a couple of episodes ago, is I think the church is failing when it comes to teaching about marriage and dating, because I've heard it in the uh the predominantly white churches, and I've heard it in predominantly black churches, and they give out almost two different messages at times, and they can be confusing. um they could make you feel like showing up without being this holy figure isn't gonna be pleasing to God. Isn't You're not gonna get a man, the husband that God desire you to have. Um, like, we literally have women that sit in the church and they lust after every man that comes through the door because they feel like that's the only place that God gonna drop their husband off at, is in the church. If he ain't in my church, he not gonna be right. And then we have the old other thing Well, we have some of these pastors who manipulate, which is back to the episode where I said a lot of churches are keeping black women single. It, this is a part of it. You know, they feel like they have to have life and say so and all that stuff in their personal lives. And well, you make sure when you meet him, he come here and I get to tell you whether you can date him or he worth it and all that. Like, you just can't go pray yourself and either A, listen to God, or B, just start ignoring red flags. Like, I'm not certain. So that's the kind of sort of thing I wanna address and talk about, because in like all actual and reality, dating per se isn't in the Bible. Let me back this up. Dating per se isn't in the Bible. But we all know that in 2025, if you're going to obtain a spouse, you gotta date. It is what it is. Now, there are some things that I recommend when you're dating. One is asking the right questions, but we've been on that for weeks. If you want to know the right answers, you got to ask the right questions. You have to be clear and concise, because vaguely asking questions is insanity. And two, people of God, and this has happened to me recently, just because you met a person in a singles religious group, singles Christian group, or whatever religion it is, whatnot, doesn't mean you have to approach them and praise the Lord. I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you? It's, to me, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be the biggest turn off, cause I don't have time. I know you already giving me red flags, and I mean them the biggest red. Like, no, you can turn off and say, "Hey, how you doing? I'm fine. How are you?" Or "I'm well. How are you? How is your day going?" We don't have to be like, I can't think of her name on Tyler Perry. Praise the Lord. I'm blessed and highly favored. Hallelujah. Like, that's not practical. Because if you go and you get married and you go in your bedroom, are you gonna be praying? I told the storm. I mean, saying, playing I told the storm and everything in the bedroom. What y'all doing? Are you gonna be speaking in tongues back there? What are y'all doing? That's the signs of, if you go listen to some of these cults and stuff that they're deconstructing on these documentaries. That's the kind of stuff that they do. Like, it's okay to come and be yourself even in a Christian, because you gonna get with me and you gonna probably think I'm a heathen. I don't belong to God, because I'm gonna speak like I got some sense. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, how you doing? You all right?" Me too. I'm all right. My name is QV. What's your name? Like, and I mean, engage the conversation. Like, if we're in a Christian group or whatever, every question doesn't have to have some sentiment of God, the church, and Christianity. Like, uh, the first question somebody asked me when they got on the phone with me was, "So how long have you been saved?" Huh? They met me in a singles Christian group. It's like, "So how long have you been saved?" So then I answered the question truthfully. And so then I said, "So how about you?" "Oh, I've been saved a long time." Like, you don't know how long you've been saved, and you want to ask people how long they've been saved? Huh? Uh, like, don't try to sound super and big with me, because I'm gonna tell you. uh, I'm a goofball, and I would consider my leadership goofballs. Like, hey, that ain't gonna fly. I'm funny. I want to laugh. I don't want to be sitting up here like, oh, okay, because it be giving off weird. It be giving like, I don't know about that. It be giving off some red flag, red flag, red flag. Like, y'all gotta learn how to, if you gonna date, to be a human. I'm not coming to date your faith. I'm dating you. Yes, your faith is a part of you, but I'm dating you. I would like to know things about you outside of you being saved. I mean, you got to have some kind of personality. Your whole personality can't be your religion. But some of y'all Christians have been made and that were not made and told. They don't teach you how to date. They just tell you your husband or your wife is on the way. If you just pray and ask the Lord and petition and shundo ba 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 shaking it and da 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 da. Like, are we teaching these people to be real people, to greet people without saying praise the Lord? Like, in real life, that grinds my gears. Speak. It's okay. Say, hey, how are you doing? Because I'm going to look at you like you crazy. Like, we know the Lord is good and he is marvelous and he is worthy to be praised, but he cannot consume your whole life. If the Bible even speaks of being so spiritual that you know earthly good, it's a red flag, Bookie. I also say laughter is good medicine. So when you stuck up in every other word you want to say is about the Lord Jesus and the Bible, I'm going to be so very turned off. So likely not to call you back. So like, you gonna get blocked. Cause I can't handle that. I have real life issues. It doesn't make me love the Lord no more, no less, because when it's time for that, it's time for that. But when it's time for life, let's be practical. I'm not finna call nobody or have somebody call me, and y'all do this a lot. People call and they're going through all these things and call me and say, I feel like my life, I feel like I just want to end it. I don't want to do this. And you're not praying hard enough and you don't believe in God. If you do that, man, these people are having a mental crisis. And the first thing you could pull out your raggedy thong headed behind is to say that you're not praying hard enough and you don't believe. Are you kidding me? It's then, hey, let me come and see you. Let me talk to you. Let's talk. I can't come see you right now, but talk me through it. What is it that makes it so hard? You know, I love you. I want to see you here. I believe in you. You got kids. You got a mama. You got these people. And I know sometimes these people act like they don't care, but they do to an extent. Not probably properly or the way you feel like they should. But it would be so disappointing if you left here like this. You're gonna inflict more pain than the pain that's already behind. Like, some stuff be a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, and everything. But it don't warrant you to batter somebody with your, I guess, false charisma. Is that the word I want to use? I don't know. I really hate people that beat people up in the name of the Lord. Like, that's not the God that's not the God that we serve. That's not following Christ. Because Christianity literally means to follow Christ. And being Christ like, being an example. Matthew tell us to go out and find disciples. Those people follow Christ, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Those people actually follow Christ. So when you being crazy and mean and obnoxious and foolish, those are not Christ-like characteristics. You know what the characteristics of Christ is? They're easy. They're the fruit of the Spirit. Y'all argue about this all the time. It's so easy. It's the fruit of the Spirit. And if it ain't that, it ain't following Christ. I don't know why y'all have this ordeal where y'all have this big authority complex and you have a heaven or hell to place people in. You'd be surprised as if you make it. A lot of you that go to church, a lot of y'all ain't even saved for real. Y'all haven't even accepted y'all salvation, ain't seen a baptism, ain't did nothing. And I don't, don't believe your criteria for salvation is Romans uh uh 10, 9, and 10. Was it 9, 10, and 9? Oh no, my back, my head hurt. But if you believe with your mouth and believe with your heart and confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, then you'll be saved. Like, that's it. All this extra stuff that y'all be doing is crazy. It's your own belief, your own personal convictions, and all of this stuff, and y'all cloud that with making people feel bad. Or the reason why we don't teach people how to love and like and be in relations properly. I feel like this: if you a pastor, you should be able to lead your people in all aspects of their life. You're a shepherd. The people follow you. This is why you have to be an example. I can tell you, if your pastor is nasty and got an attitude and all that, I can tell. It'll reflect on you. You'll be ugly and rude and crazy to people. It rarely do you have one that sits and knows they usually get off and around them because they know it's not right. It's not true. It's not how you treat people. Me, I'm going to always treat people with kindness and be respectful and be graceful towards people. Especially when we living in a time like this. Have a little grace. Have a little mercy. What if Jesus turned off grace and mercy on y'all? Because y'all don't get it right every day. I'm just going to be honest. Some of you won't even die to yourself and live for Christ anyway. You live in this constant state of doing stupid stuff and need repentance and need to repent, need forgiveness. Like, come on. The best thing you do, the best thing you can do as a pastor to me is teach your people how to love people that are not like them. To teach people that it's okay that people are in this world is not like you. It's not like you. That's why I don't like the idea of y'all telling people that America is a Christian country. No, it is not. It is for the people, by the people. You know what? And the people can be whatever they want to be. The people can be Muslim, Hindu, atheist, agnostic, pagan, Satanist. The people can be whatever they want to be as long as they're respectful. Constitution gives you three things: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I want y'all to understand that your mechanism of belief system is a pursuit of happiness. That's where that falls at. Your liberty to pursue that, yeah. Because I would hope that you choose a faith that make you happy. If that makes sense. So trying to make everybody follow a walking a duck, these people are not Christian, nor do they have to be. So I don't care. I share with anybody. I'll talk to anybody. People talk to me anyway, and I got plenty of people that I encounter daily that don't believe in God and ain't gonna believe in Him, and have other religions or don't have one at all, atheists, agnostic, all that. And they'll tell you, you know what? QV is one of the easiest people to talk to, and you would think because she's a clergy person, she would be all this and then the third, and she's not. If more people would act like QV, they might be apt to follow Christ. Why? Because I display Christ like behavior. It's not that hard. Y'all just want to be in control of nothing and something, something and nothing. But I feel like as a shepherd, as a pastor, we don't do enough teaching people how to live. Other than that, if you commit a sin, you're going to die, you're going to go to hell. If you don't pray, you're going to this, you're going to hell. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. Like, the doctrine of Christ is not fear. The Bible even said God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So why are y'all fear mongering people in the name of the Lord? It's insane to me. Like, crack open your Bible and read it yourself. I can go round for round for this all day long of stuff that y'all do, especially as leaders in the church. I'm like, you should be teaching them how to live right. You should be teaching them how to live, period. Be in good relationships with people. A lot of y'all don't know how to be a friend or anything because ain't nobody ever taught you how to be one. And I feel like if you spend as much time wrapped up into your faith as y'all do, the church has some kind of obligation. Church has some kind of obligation to teach you how to do these things right. Y'all, y'all do a lot of nothing, nothing, something, and a lot of nothing. So now we got these people out here who trying to date and they don't know how to date. They don't know how to do nothing because y'all don't have a singles ministry that sit down and talk about dating other than that, you shouldn't, you don't need to hug, you don't need to kiss, you don't need to have sex before marriage, you need to pray and ask God for your spouse. Like, that's all y'all say. You don't have a spouse yet because you hadn't prayed hard enough and you hadn't showed your loyalty and faithfulness to God yet, so He won't give you a spouse. Or or you got these false prophets just prophesying out of thin doo doo, saying all kinds of everything, and we got this generation of people that chase impartation and prophetic words. And I need y'all to stop because, in truthful, I want y'all to understand outside of a prophet, you can really get your own word if you sit down and listen. You sit down and take care. You sit down and you study enough, you can get your own word. So y'all can stop chasing these people. These people don't. Everybody at this point, I feel like, want to be a prophet of some sort or have some kind of prophetic gift, and it's really because they know that they can exploit it. They know that some of y'all are dumb enough to pay and to play into it. They know they could continue to pimp God's people and with these impartations and stuff. It's been the biggest get rich quick scheme ever. That's why I say the church is leaving black women single. They're holding them up because they know they pay their money, they pay their tithes. They loyal to paying their tithes and they'll do anything. A lot of them will. Now, some of y'all won't. Some of y'all don't care. Some of y'all really about their life. But there's a whole lot of black women held up in the church paying their tithes and offering and all that and blah 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 blah, and they just running in the blind, giving their money, running in the blind, giving their money, running in the blind. Teach these people how to love. Teach these people, even if you have to, and the church has a huge problem with this, even if you have to seek a professional, because you do have counselors that are both Christian and professional, and they both. My pastor, again, she's one of them. She will not use Christian counseling unless you request her to use it as a tool to rectify whatever you're going through or whatever. But she is a licensed professional who has been to school, who has done her hours and all this stuff of psychology work or whatever, and she's a licensed therapist. Get the professionals in here that know both, that can help you bridge the gap. Right now, she also is about to a hold a clinic for pastors to learn about compassion and care, mental health care in the church. And I feel like there needs to be more therapists holding clinics exclusively for church leadership so we can tackle the mental health crisis that's going off in the church. Because we already, church know the church is in a land of delulu. That's how we get the administration like we got now. Delusional. Everything God said, Jesus and a God said, and God, Jesus, this is Jesus, God, that. And Jesus, God, and none of them ain't said none of that. But they know that it's easier to mention God, Jesus, and play on y'all's emotions because y'all don't go back and check nothing. It's easier to call out the devil and say these people is the devil and these people is the this and that in the name of God because y'all don't go back and check nothing. God has been the biggest ploy for deception since the beginning of time because y'all don't go back and check nothing. It's exactly why the Bible tells you to study to show yourself approved. Because if you don't, you will be easily deceived. The reason why when I read Ephesians 4 a couple of episodes ago, that's why I read it. It told you to forsake what the old people told you because a lot of time, what especially now you beginning to see for the ones of people that's dedicating their time to deconstruct some of this uh failed theology or false doctrine in the church or whatever, you beginning to see it's because it don't have no biblical principles anyway. It's just what grandma and great grandma and great granny and Uncle Tom and Uncle Jack and them told y'all was supposed to happen. I sit and I listen to some of these, and I'm not that big on it. I sit and listen to some of these sermons that some of these preachers be preaching, and I'm like, is you sure that's what that verse trying to convey? But I also know y'all take some of the hardest God's law, usually their Old Testament scriptures, and y'all use that one scripture to justify your opinion, and you don't read the scriptures before or after it. Because telling somebody about a tattoo and you just went to Juicy Crab yesterday, baby, what? Ah! Like, I don't know why y'all love to get in the book of Leviticus and Deuteronomy and Parsons. I mean, basically the Old Testament to start whipping people. I don't know why y'all like that. I seen the most silliest thing yesterday when I was scrolling and this lady said if Paul was still living, I'm sure he'd have a letter to the Church of Americalonians. And I understood what she's saying. Since y'all done made America a church, I'm sure Paul would have so much to say. I ponder that sometimes. If Paul was to come up in here and tell y'all something, what do y'all think Paul would say? Paul would be pissed. I know that the Lord is pissed. So I know Paul would be pissed. And I know y'all finna say, well, then you go stand and do it. No, I'm quite sure the state that life is in right now, this earth is in, I know the Lord is very much unhappy with the way things are going. The way y'all are acting, this isn't Christ-like. This is not what Christ died for. This is not what, no. And I can only imagine if you sit there and use everything for your own advantage, you go plop somebody's name in there for your advantage. You know your brother, you know you don't want the ball, but your brother want it, so you gonna say, let me rephrase that. You really want the ball and you know you can't have. So I made it that far without yawning. My gosh. So you gonna say, Mama, Jimmy sent me in here for the ball. You know full on well Jimmy don't want the ball. So she gives you the ball to get a Jimmy. Then she finds you playing with it. He was like, he just told me, he was like, I didn't ask for the ball. Like y'all use the Lord's name as a ploy all the time. And I know he get tired of y'all using his name as a ploy and a prop. It's ridiculous. It doesn't have to even really be that way. We don't have to use the Lord to defend our opinions and feelings. It's not the way Christianity works. But sadly, that's the way y'all make it out to be. I really feel sad and sorry for people because I made a video this morning on TikTok. I was like, I just want y'all to know that, everybody's experience as a Christian isn't the same. Everybody, isn't insufferable because it's what Christians are being called now on TikTok. Like, we're not all insufferable. Some of y'all just have bad leadership or been under bad leadership and you need to find you somewhere. I said, because my pastor hasn't, neither one of them has made me live in fear and scared to die and all the things or whatever is going on, especially when we're talking about this last past week when we went through rapture talk, because people literally thought they was going to be raptured up on Tuesday and Wednesday, giving away their positions and all of this or whatever. Y'all do too much in this religion. Y'all are really insufferable. I understand the people calling Christians insufferable because y'all really be doing the most. But let me get back on dating. A Christian, I want to just highlight some points other than you need to be your authentic self. Like, it's okay to greet and say hey and stuff. You need to get to know the person as a whole. Knowing who they are in church, as we see the church is a very fake place at times, does not mean you know the person. You need to start asking real questions like, what's your name, where you come from, who you with, where you been, where you going, type questions. Um, I, I can go on and on and on about this, but I feel like you set yourself up if you only want to know about their spiritual life or their spiritual lifestyle. You need to know everything. If you're gonna base a relationship purely based off of spiritual, I feel like, I know this might sound crazy, but I feel like you idolizing the religion and not getting another person. But like I said earlier, like y'all have made your faith your whole attitude, and that's why you probably are single, or you get in relationships and they go horribly. Because greet me, praise the Lord, amen. Like I'm not gonna be receptive to that. Most women I know, and I've had this conversation outwardly with people. They're not trying to hear that. Like, hey, how are you doing? I'm fine. My name is QV. What's your name? I'm from right outside of Atlanta, 20 minutes south of the airport. And you're from? What do you do for a living? Well, I'm this. What do you like to do as a hobby on your free time after work, around work? What kind of foods do you like? With this up, round it out, say, oh, you like, hey, I know a nice quote unquote restaurant in the area. Can we catch a date? Like, where are we gonna get when we in restaurants? And God is good and He's worthy to be praised. Hallelujah. I mean, if we're gonna do exhortation, we can just go to church, babe. Even if you wanted to make your first date in church, which is I highly don't recommend, unless you wanted just to meet them in a safe place. But that's not a date. Asking somebody to go to church. But yeah. Who I forgot y'all do too much. I don't recommend it. And I know somebody gonna say, well, that's not Christ like that's not no. Because y'all need to learn how to separate. Like you cannot be so spiritual that you are not any earthly good. You guys don't realize that you don't live in the Bible days one and you don't live in heaven. You still have to walk amongst other people. So act like a person. Act like you got some sense. I don't even know why we have to have this conversation. Like, are y'all cool? Are y'all good? Are y'all sure? Are y'all gonna be okay? Y'all, it's okay. Because, and somebody asked me to touch on this. If you want to date me, yes, I want somebody that's of the same faith as me. I sure do, but I need you to be a human first. Because I got real world problems, and I'm sure you got real world problems too. And we need to know how each other solve these real world problems. I don't want to get on the phone praying and talking in tongues with you for 4 or 5 hours. That's just not what I want to do. I don't want to get on the phone with you and trying to get to know you, and all you want to talk about is the Lord, the Lord, well, the Lord, and the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. Like, I don't want to hear that. I have a collar around my neck. I pray. I read the word. I journal. I do all the things. When I'm talking to a person, I want to talk to the person. And if that's your attitude, then you probably don't want to talk to me because I want to talk about human stuff in real life. Especially now we live in a very, very deceptive place in church and in ministry. I need to know how you respond to some of these real world problems that's going on out here. I really need to know. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell y'all no lie. Then now it's not the time to be with somebody who did not vote the way you did, who cannot tell you why they voted the way they did, who can't do their own research and think in their own brain. Because that's the problem right now. So if you didn't vote the way I did, you voted against my interests. And we can't be together. I am dead serious. I'm not going through that. I actually talked to a friend a few weeks ago and she's going through that right now. She dated a guy who voted the other way that she voted. And so she said she really didn't know until he started having quote unquote buyer's remorse. And then he started showing his true colors and all this stuff. And they've broken up. She was like, but I would have known this had I ever asked the right questions. She was like, the things I heard him say after we kind of got into a back and forth about why he voted the way he voted. She was like, I've never felt so small and so demeaned and so belittled and berated in my life as he did. And he didn't even realize what he was saying and doing was belittling and berating me as a person. I was like, always, always, always. So now that's gonna be like the biggest thing. If you want to know the biggest things about dating right now, is you don't want to date somebody that's outside of the same faith as you. You don't want to date somebody who don't have the same political and life views as you, and you don't want to date somebody that's that much different, have a that much different of a perspective or a way of doing life than you, because you're bound to bump heads. Lastly, you don't want to date somebody that you don't like, that you settle, that you took a couple of points off with. Well, I like this about her, I like this about him, but I don't like that and I don't like that. But I'm willing, to know, because those things you don't like always tend to aggravate. That's the one thing I learned when I was married. The things that I didn't like about Chris aggravated me once I after I said, okay, well, I can settle on these few things, but those things aggravated me and ultimately led to the demise of our relationship, because I knew then what he could and couldn't do. Y'all excuse me if you still hear Christian in the background, because I don't know why she wild giggling, hollering, and screaming. And I got my microphone on, but it might still pick it up. I don't know. Hot mess. So yeah. Um, I gotta, y'all gotta do better, especially in the church. If you're a pastor and you hear me, please take the time to connect with the singles in your church and teach them how to date. If you don't know how to want to be the one to teach them how to date, reach out to me. I'll come talk to them. I'll do a seminar. Matter of fact, you don't even have to leave your bedroom. We can set up a Zoom, a Google Meet, or anything where they can ask questions, because I feel like we don't talk about this enough. All this praying for your spouse and just thinking that he's just gonna show up out the thin blue. Like, we have got to be a little bit more careful with that cohort of people. I feel like that's why they run and they rush into things, because they don't understand. They don't have guidance. Especially black people, is be living life on the edge sometimes. And I want, in that aspect, I want to say something. Um, right there. I don't know about white church. I'm not white, and I can't tell you how white is. But I do know this: a lot of black people look up to their pastors. They look to their pastors for guidance. That's why they there. It's something about you that sparked their interest and made them, gave you the respect and the honor. For the most part, I'm not talking about everybody. So I feel like it's your job as a pastor to take care of your people all the way around. A lot of people are leaving the church that I know are leaving the church because they pastors dropping the ball. This, I've been going through stuff for months and weeks and weeks and months, and then it's like some people barely reached out to me. They don't talk to me. They ostracize me. They make up rumors about me in the church instead of coming to me and getting the right thing or whatever. I had one friend that said, "Girl, my job had put me back on Sundays and stuff," and she was like, I'm hearing from people that I know they go to church, talking about people talking about, I done left the church, I done backslid, I done did this, I done did that." And I think a lot of it is because pastors aren't taking care. They're not checking back and checking on their people, which gives people reasons why to just make up stuff and just say stuff. If your people ain't been to church in all these many months, there ain't no reason why you ain't picked up the phone, called them, and said, "Hey, it shouldn't even make it to a month. Hey, is everything okay? Can I see for you?" I don't think y'all understand how depression works. People's like, "Well, I think it's the person that need to reach out." Some people don't have the mind to reach out when they go. Sorry, indigestion get me there. People don't have the mind to reach out. People don't have the thought process to reach out. They don't. They when you go into, and I can attest to this, when you go into go into one of those cycles, the only thing you can do is respond. So, of course, people are not calling you. If you call me, I answer. I can remember to, answer the phone. Or if you write me, I can remember to write you back. But I'm not thinking to initiate stuff like that when you want to, because I got so many other things on my mind. Like we've gotta as black clergy gotta start taking care of the people that we shepherd. There's no reason why there are people in your congregation that are going hungry, who are losing their houses and everything, and you hadn't reached out and said, "Hey, can we do something to help you?" Hey, I shouldn't even ask you to do something to help you. This is what we can do. I can call this person or this person. Let me get some resources up. Let me get back to you. You know what? We got all these things. We can benefit a concert, a fish fry, a car wash, or this or that, or something. Stop making people try to make you force you to do something. You see there's a need, try to help. I just feel like sometimes people be great when they're pouring out in the church. People be great when they are pouring out their service, when they're pouring out their money. But as soon as something happens to them, then they become an afterthought. And I mean, I'm watching it happen in real time. And quite a few people. My phone has rung in the past few months several times with stories of, ever since I did this and that, I ain't even really heard from my church like that or whatever. They ain't sent an offering to help. They ain't come by to pray. They ain't sent no nothing or whatever. But they was spreading the rumors. They was telling the lies. Okay, I'm gonna get off that soapbox. Because pretty soon people are going to say something and I'm going to have to go off on everybody. I'm not going to hold back. Really, really not. Um, Going to hold back. So, yeah, if anything, you didn't get anything out of that, take care of yourself, be a human, and take care of the people that follow you. Okay? Okay. The next topic I want to talk about is business. Because I've been seeing this for a minute. Um, I made a TikTok about this. I had made a Facebook post about this. I was talking to some friends about this here recently in the last couple of months about how the vendor market scene is really drying up. Um, and it's drying up because people aren't honest about what they got going on. That's why the vendor market scene is drying up. You got these events that are happening that they have only 100 people at, 110 people at, and in this tight economy, you got 17 vendors, and multiple of them have the same product or similar service, similar food. People can't survive like that. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, please do not have a vendor event with vendors, hiring vendors, unless you have 300 people attending the event right now. And you know they're going to shop and spend their money. And make sure that the vendors that you reach out to match the demographic of the people that you're going to be serving throughout the event. And vendors, ask every freaking question. Ask them all. And if they can't answer them, tell them you're not going to be able to do it. Because to watch so many vendors now coming out of events upside down, I paid $100 because they said it was going to be 2,000 people there. It was 300 people there, and I made one sale. That's what I heard last week. And I'm like, huh? Honestly, I will tell you this as a event planner, host with vendors. Honestly, if you're not selling tickets to your event, then don't hire vendors. Please. Please. It's becoming a haggle and a headache. And having to, when you got people like me who have to make product and you can't just keep it, you got to give it away or throw it away because it's perishable. It's a lot of money that I didn't have to spend in the first place. I know people have been asking me, QV, I ain't seen you do. Nope. And I'm not gonna do any vendor events because right now this ain't the time. As much as I would like to do one, I've been at a couple vendor events this year and they were a bust. People aren't buying stuff out of necessity anymore. If you don't have a necessary service, they're not buying anything. If you ain't selling food, they're not really buying anything. Those are the only people that's making money. And it's if your food good really and you got a following and recommend it. This is why now I know I used to stack up on food trucks. Now if I was to have a vendor event, I wouldn't have nothing but one truck because you legitimately can't make any money anyway, anyhow, especially with food this high. But I'm gonna tell you, it's very disappointing to show up at a vendor event, see all these people, and they're not shopping. I tell people like this: if you having vendor events at the end of the month, especially you having a vendor event before you think payday, then don't do it. You strategically got to put them after the first of the month, maybe that first weekend of the month, so people actually have money. People don't have money at the end of the month; they can't shop. I mean, when referrals are great, but 90% of referrals go unanswered. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get this from you when I get paid. Most 99 times out of 10, they're not gonna get it. If they don't get it, then they're not gonna get it. But I'm seeing so many people walk away with all the and have like $3 million worth of inventory on hand, and they can't get rid of it, or they have perishable inventory and they have to give it all away. That was money they didn't have to give away. So please, I beg of y'all, be considerate of people's time, talents, and their gift and their services or business. I get that you might traditionally host events with vendors and stuff like that, but I'm gonna tell you now, this ain't the time to do it. This is not the time to do it unless you're gonna be somewhere. Like I will straight up tell you, in this economy right now, if you're not hosting a festival level event, I just wouldn't even do it. You need a festival level event. That's the only true way you're gonna make money is at a festival level event. Let me define what a festival level event is. It's just, you're gonna have about 700 to 1,000 people minimum. So your big places, like if you're talking about Noonan where I live at, the Art Walk, Spirit and Spices, um, Market Day, the Christmas thing that they do at the fairgrounds, where there are gonna be thousands of people coming to. Cause otherwise you ain't gonna be doing that, but continuing to pay money. And what y'all don't realize is them $45 to sit up here, $50 to sit up here, $90 to sit up here. Those add up. And I'm seeing people paying $90 for a vending fee with 20 participants and don't make not one sale. Like 20 people showing up here at your event. You charging people $90 to set up. Like the only thing you trying to do is fund your event. And I get there are expenses with the event, but at the same time, these people are there to make money, and you just took their money and they're not making any money. It'd be crazy to me. That's why I stopped hosting because no, I'm not my people. The last vendor event that I wrote out for or whatever for somebody wrote me back and they was like, yeah, right now I can't do anything that small. They was like, because them little bitty penny pinching events ain't doing nothing but costing me more money than I'm making. And it's like, cause yeah, by the time I pay you $35, I gotta put another probably $30 in my car worth of gas because I gotta get there, and then they're not even gonna pay for me to get no food. I gotta pay for a ticket too to eat or whatever. And then, so that's more money if I want to eat. Or if I don't eat there, I still got to pay for money outside to get something to eat outside the vendor in the event. And then I got to sit there and everything else. What if I don't make a sale at all? They was like, give or take, you say the event only gonna have 100 people. They was like and 100 people, that ain't enough people to shop with that. I was like, I understand. I was like, and y'all see now why I ain't hosting events because it's not worth the money. It was like, yeah, I'd rather pay, you know, $300 or whatever to sit up at like Sweet Auburn somewhere than to sit and pay $40 and $50 and then waste all their gas and stuff surrounding it. And that was kind of the consistency that everybody was giving me, and I was like, well, you're right. And I had to think about it myself. Like, look what happened to you in May. Like, whole day and made two sales. But how much money did I spend to even get inventory for that? And although they did a makeup for it, by then Christian had got sick and Christian was in the hospital, so I couldn't even do the makeup for it. We got to be a lot more careful with people's times and energies and effort and stuff. I've learned my lesson. So again, I know a lot of people like, oh, vendors. Like, if you're not having a festival level event, I'm just gonna tell you, my vendors have all delightfully declined and said no, they're not doing it. If they know me, for the most part, most of them, I'm not gonna say all, most of them just said no, they can't do it because it's just too expensive to do it. And I mean, it's even hurt my own organization because that's how we made our money for years, was hosting vendor events. But I can't host one because I don't have anywhere to host one to make the money. Somebody is like, yeah, after hours hadn't, yeah, because our bread and butter was vendor events, but legitimately, people aren't buying things out of necessity. They're just not buying it. Like, you might get a sale. I mean, even right now, the price of printing shirts has gone up in the past. I got my first batch of shirts printed for my t-shirt business. I got my first batch of shirt printed for Farm Free in February, I think. And then I had to have Stone Mountain Day shirts printed up. And the price of the shirts is now from then to now, it's like $7 to $8 more per shirt to print. And I'm like, what? The shirts weren't that expensive to print the other day. Shoot. So, like, I seen somebody say gone are the days of $20 shirt. They right, because it just costs so much money to print now. And people are not really printing on vinyl. They print DTF because it's a whole lot of more time to go and print all them vinyl and then try to put them together and then try weed them out, put them together, and then yeah, it's a lot too much. It's a lot too much. It's not worth it unless you're doing a single color design. Then sure, use vinyl. But yeah, that's about all the business. I just want y'all to be careful, be aware. I know some people get high and get upset about these vendor events, and they have every right to get upset. I mean, I even had a vendor to get upset with me 2 years ago. I think it's been about 2 years ago. And I understood their frustration, but at the same time, and this one more thing I want y'all vendors to watch out. This is what got them. Be asking the person who hosting the event what kind of people are attending. What's the demographic of the people that are attending? Because a lot of the times, why we don't sell things is because it doesn't cater to this demographic. Like, there are a lot of awesome products and businesses that people I know, even right here in Noonan, but this is not the demographic for that. They're not buying it. Your own marketing, your own business name, and what you sell is a turnoff to this very, very white population. And I don't think some people don't get that. Like, this is Noonan. This is a very, there are more white people here than there are black people. And when you start talking about the festival level stuff, festival level events, more white people attend than black people. So you kind of have to play into stuff that they will buy if you want to make sales. So if they not gonna buy it, then you won't make no sales. That's just point blank period. So do you really need to sign up for this? Absolutely not. Start asking. This group in particular with me was, they were trying to, I didn't know what they were when I accepted it. They was like, oh, um they they have rainbows or whatever. And I let them do it under the impression like, you know, you're not finna send a rainbow to a whole bunch of black church growing people. Because it was at church, and I was like, but okay, maybe you get paid for demonstrations or something, like you gonna have it set up where you do demonstrations and get paid. Like, I don't know, I'm not familiar with how Rainbow make themselves, etc. I sold carpets, not rainbows. So I'm like, maybe they make money off of doing demonstrations and whatnot, and they can get people to sign that they did a demonstration. I don't know, I have no idea. So after the festival, they got really upset, and they sent messages in the group chat where I've been messaging the festival vendors and stuff, and how they were pissed off. And I'm like, wait a minute. Ideally, y'all sell rainbows. Did y'all really think people at a black church were going to buy a $2,000-3,000 vacuum cleaner? Be so for real. That was outside of your target audience and your demographic. So then after that, it forced me to be very careful about selective vendors for events, because and be careful and be the way I word stuff, because I'm not trying to be liable because you didn't make sales. Like, I can't pay for your sales. That's why I'm like, no, no. But yeah, ask the right questions. Make sure you have all the information. Make sure you have something documented and written down, not just word of mouth. All right, y'all? I don't want y'all vendors to get taken advantage of, because we live in a society where people get, vendors are getting taken advantage of. Like, y'all check it. Y'all be cool. Cause is y'all cool? Okay. All right. Cool. Let's see, the last topic. Oh, that was my last topic right there. Oh, that was the only two things I was gonna talk about topic wise. So yeah, take care of yourself. And if you're a business owner, take care of yourself. Let's see. The next thing is food. Oh, food's gonna excite me, y'all. So this weekend, Mika came to visit me. Shout out to her. She know I'm having a hard time. She made sure she came down here and crept down here and come see me we had a couple of business line items. If you don't know, I oversee Mika's ministry, dance ministry. So we had a couple of things in Atlanta we need to take care of, and so we had to go to Atlanta yesterday. In the midst of going to Atlanta, one thing me and Mika gonna always do is find us something good to eat. That's our life. That's what we do. So I've been seeing that Brito chicken go viral on TikTok. The best grilled chicken in Atlanta, and boy, did they not lie. Ooh, did they not lie? Did they not lie? Did they not lie? That chicken is superb. Y'all just don't understand. I don't think y'all understand how good that chicken is. I sat in the car when I got that chicken for Brito. You want to know what Brito is? Brito is on Beaufort Highway. It's on the Druid Hills end of Beaufort Highway. I feel like I have to say that because Beaufort Highway goes 3,000 miles in Atlanta. Like Peachtree. It's right down the road from Arthur Blank Choa. It's the closest big landmark that I can give you. Some of y'all in Atlanta a little nasty. I think I seen this like over there by Tokyo Valentine. I know what Tokyo Valentine is because people on TikTok have made me aware of what Tokyo Valentine is. But it's over on that side of Beaufort Highway. I think I seen Tokyo Valentine over there. I think I seen Tokyo Valentine yesterday. No, you know what? I seen Tokyo Valentine over where we went on Roswell Road. Wrong place. Sorry, y'all. But I know I seen that, and then I seen the video about Tokyo Valentine. And I'm like, is that what y'all was talking about? Oh, Lord. Anywho, wrong destination. The biggest thing I would say, the corner of Druid Hills and 85 would be the closest way to access it. It's the way it took me to it. It's on that side of Beaufort Highway, not on the 285 end and the flea market end, which is I'm gonna get to that in a few minutes. So we went and you go through the door, through the side, and you go to the back by where they got the meat counter at, and you ask for the chicken, and they give it to you, and it comes with the sauce. Now the sauce is way too high, and they got this big old cooler of warm tortillas just next to it. And then next to that, they got like these all these kind of sauces, pico, guacamole, etc. for you to indulge in too, or whatever. And I gave this chicken a 2 million out of 10. Y'all, the I don't think I asked for it. I should have asked for rice and beans and had a whole meal, and I probably would have felt less guilty about eating my whole chicken. We started off with two chickens because we were trying to get family meals to feed everybody. Because Mika had her kids, and of course I had Christian and her husband. Of course I had Christian. So we was trying to grab some family type meals to take back to the hotel and eat because I was gonna be there because we had business to take care of or whatever before I came home last night. So I got it back in the car because we only got two. And the guy in front of me got 7 chickens, and I was like, "Nah, you don't need 7 whole chickens. These chickens is spatchcock. You don't need 7 whole chickens, sir." But okay, do you? Maybe you got a big old family or whatever. Um, but I honestly think I was like, these people don't sent you over here since you the one that gonna come over here. They don't sent you to come over here and get all the chickens. Now I sat and I watched them before we really went in the store. And when I seen them loading up all that, nothing but yawning again, kinks for Choco and them big old Bear Grylls, I knew I was about in trouble. And then it smelled so good. Oh my gosh. It smells so good. Anywho, so we got the chicken, we came back and got in the car. And I said, "Oh, Mika, open it and taste it. Let's taste it before we leave the parking lot." I kid you not, me, Mika, and Yana sat there and ate a whole chicken. Mika said, "I gotta go back and get 2 more." Y'all, listen, I advise you to just take whatever size you was gonna eat with the chicken over there with you to the chicken because chicken not gonna make it nowhere. I ain't got a strong enough wheel and a small enough back. The chicken is superb. And it's not one of them chickens they really need a sit down restaurant because I really need to have had a place to sit there and prop my big behind up on and eat my chicken. I know the next time I'm just make my rice and beans or collard greens or whatever I'm gonna take them with me, and I'm gonna eat my chicken right there in the car. I'm not even gonna play with it. I'm not coming back down 85, 40 minutes, 45 minutes to eat nothing. I'm eating my chicken right there. I'm gonna make sure Christian got her food, take her get her food, whatever she want, and I'm gonna sit right there and prop up and eat my chicken. I'm not playing with myself with that. So if you're in Atlanta, I think it's 3020 Buford Highway, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia's got an Atlanta address, which is just technically Brookhaven, right? I get the communities all squished up. So yeah, we got them chickens. Superb. So then we went to, I was like, well, we over here on Buford Highway area. Let's go ahead and let's try the other viral spot. We want to try this in the area, which is on the opposite end of Buford Highway. Is Baldino's Giant Subs. And let me tell y'all, this is what pisses me off about the food scene in Noonan. Like, y'all don't have nothing here. Baldino's Subs will be getting visits. It's not that far from Christian's doctor's office. See, these places are down the street from where Christian goes to the doctor's at. So that means now I got more options to have lunch in the vicinity of the doctor's office. Baldino's will be seeing me again. Listen, I got a steak. So yesterday's special was steak. And so you can get the regular cheesesteak, the cheesesteak hoagie, or the mushroom steak, but then they don't come with all of them. Some of them, the only cheesesteak come with cheese. But they all hot and they come with bell peppers and onions. I'm sorry, I keep yawning. And this one had mushrooms. You know, I mean, cheesesteak and mushrooms go together real bad. And so I was like, I want a Baldino's way, which is less tomatoes, onions, salt, pepper, oregano, and vinegar and oil. Same thing as like Jersey's Mike's way or whatever. The hoagie way is what it really need to be called, hoagie style, because it's what it technically is. Lettuce, tomato, onions, and oil and vinegar is a hoagie. Makes it goes from a sandwich to a hoagie. Anywho, more you know. So I got that, and I had got the cookies because they say you have to try the cookies. So I got oatmeal raisin cookies, and they said that they got bomb pasta salad. And then I forgot to order macaroni salad when I seen it. Yeah, another 20,000 out of 10. If you in Doraville, because that's Doraville, I do know that. You in Doraville, you should make yourself. It's right across from, really catty corner across from the Buford Highway Farmers Market. It's at Buford Highway and 285. Just to give y'all some context of where it is. So yeah. So that was our 2 for 2 yesterday. I y'all. You don't see many people sitting down because like you can sit down in there. It's got lots of seats, so you can sit there at Baldino's. And I think I seen outside seats too. But you don't see a sub shop in this era full and busy. Them guys were busy. So shout out to them. I actually seen Baldino's in the Living in Atlanta group or Atlanta Culture group. I think I seen the guy in there. He strictly advertised for them. Every time I see he posts about them. At the beginning of the year, and I was like, I need to go around there. Like he make you want to try it, and so then people on TikTok started going there. So yeah, if you want me to go try something in Atlanta, TikTok finds a lot of times, yeah, I will go try it. I have to go to Atlanta a lot, and I have to go to multiple sections. So like, Christian's doctor office is in Sandy Springs. She got a doctor's office in Stockbridge, Sandy Springs, Alpharetta, and Brookhaven. And then y'all know my daddy live in Stone Mountain. And she go to the doctor's office. I mean the hospital. If she had to be seen in the hospital. More than likely we going to Brookhaven. But I'll go to Sandy Springs to Troy if necessary. Um um oh shit. Yeah, no, they gone. I forgot. Had to make sure. I forgot they moved. I forgot say in Fayetteville, but Fayetteville I moved to Noonan, so yeah. So if you want me to go try something while I'm up there, I will. Just let me know. I did go inside the Beaufort Highway Farmers Market to get me some kimchi. Worst decision ever. That kimchi is dry. It had all the like anchovy shrimp paste with no gochujang. So I had to. I didn't realize it because they had it tied up in a bag or whatever. So I had to come home and wet it with sambal, and I'm gonna let that sit for a couple of days. Like never again. I'm just gonna have to stick to H Mart and Numday Moon to get my kimchi because I was sterling and Mika was like, "Dang, they got all kinds of kimchi." I said, "Yeah, usually the store brand is usually the best." Yeah, I should have not got that. And I got some radish, pickle radish, daikon radish. Y'all know me. I'm just a black girl that love a good Korean banchan. Hand it here. Got me a couple of boxes and packs of noodles because I'm gonna need something to eat around these parts. So yeah, let's see who I'm shouting out this week. Definitely want to shout out Mika for coming to Atlanta this weekend, handling business as usual. If you are in the Knoxville, North Carolina area, we having our annual In Him My Move service um on November the 8th at 6 o'clock. I have to get y'all the location. Um because we having to see about one or two things. Y'all stop on by and be blessed and highly favored. This year is seated Ephesians 6:2, I think. So yeah. That's why y'all gonna see me working triple time. Working triple time. Trying to keep these compressions and stuff on my feet and stuff. Cause I'm trying to get my legs unswelled for the occasion and back into shape for the occasion. Been trying to work out and stuff because I ain't danced all year. I still got to figure out when the last time I danced. I know it was. I think it was at CY. I got sick on Stone Mountain Day, so I couldn't dance, and then my engagement dance the week before that. Guy Christian was in the hospital, so I couldn't do that. But yeah, before that, I don't had to cancel a few things. I've had a few things canceled, so I'm really trying to figure out when the last time I danced, and I really want to say it's been a year. And this has been the longest time I've sat down, and my ministry will be 20. I'll be 27 years old. Hold on, let me do some math. My ministry will be 20. Yeah, it's 27 years old on December. So BTP will be 27 years old. So this is the longest stretch in 27 years that I haven't danced. The whole year of not dancing for me is abnormal. But trust and believe, I think that's been the longest stretch for me not dancing. No, maybe COVID. No, I think I. No, no, no. This is the longest stretch. You know, so say no. No, not during COVID. This is on restriction. Not dancing at all. Yeah, which is I probably needed a break. My joints probably needed a break. See who else I'm shouting out. I'm gonna shout out all the people on TikTok that take the time to go to the places in Atlanta to review food to give me options to y'all to go. Some of y'all are writing y'all inboxes and stuff to tell y'all to go check these places out, like places I done been or whatever places. Yeah, go check them out. This question of the week. Last week I had people just ask me what they want to ask me, and it was a disaster. Like, be so for real, you had to go listen to the cast and stuff from last week. It was rough. It was really rough. I had to do some self evaluating because at the end of the day, this is what I want y'all to know. I don't know what gave y'all the idea that I might want to trip or turn back to one of my exes or anything, or people that I've dealt with platonically, whatever you want to call it, etc. But let me tell you something. If you are dating one of my exes, married to him, etc., sweetheart, I don't want him. Let me just put this to you flat footed. I don't want him. I'm not checking for you. I'm not jealous of anything. Congratulations. They just go to show you don't know me. Like, I really don't be studying stuff like that. It's quite frankly a reason why me and this person is not together. So stirring up strife in your relationship about me is crazy because I guarantee you half the time these Negroes ain't thought about me since then. Like you just turning up for nothing. Um and that's crazy. Like let's just do better. Please, let's not be unnecessarily putting ourselves in a teasy. Um so this week's um question of the week, I don't know if I really want to have a question of the week. I really don't really want to do a question of the week this week. I don't. I'm good. Let me breathe off of next week. I might throw out a question because I'm sure I'm probably gonna do an exclusive this week. Uh See, my words of wisdom is just I want y'all to start showing up as y'all authentic self in all atmospheres. Be yourself. Yes, beware of what you are and be conscious of the atmosphere that you in, setting that you in. But I really want y'all to start being yourself. Stop trying to placate and be something that you're not. Because it's not cool. It's just not cool. Like if you, especially if you out on a dating scene, be authentically who you are. And if that causes that person not to like you, then cool. It just saves you a headache of battling somebody over irreconcilable differences. Like, let's start being so for real. I think a lot of our pain, and I think I've mentioned this, is self inflicted because we don't pay attention. And I mean, that's with every and all aspects of life. Stop inflicting your own pain. Like, show up and be yourself. That's the best word that I can give you. Is just show up and be yourself. People are going to like you. Just understand that not everybody is going to like you. You're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. But somebody out there likes you, okay? Okay. Let's stop bending and flexing for foolishness. Yep. So that's that. Those are my words of encouragement. So I know I was late this week. I'm sure I'll probably do an exclusive. People have much to say, or I'll think of something. I kind of sort of got something lined up in my head for my exclusive episode on Friday. Remember, I am, and I do for the month of October. I have 3 slots left for business ads. They're $10. I run them for the whole month. You get to write and tell me what you want me to say, and I do them at the beginning of the show. So before I even after the jingle, I do the sponsors, and then that's when I would start. So because I've had that question to come up, like, where would it be? Would it be in the middle or the end? No, it'll be the first thing I say before it was about to show. Like, this show is sponsored by, and then I read your little quick ad, and then I would start the show, or whatever 3 ads I had, and then I would start the show. And also my Apple subscription is up. I have subscribers now, so content is dropped on Friday for exclusive Apple subscribers. And an Apple subscription right now is $2 a month or $20 for the year. Probably get bang for your buck. Do the $20 a year. I appreciate it because it's money back into my pocket that I can use to help myself out in this horrendous situation. So if you got it in your heart, and $20 or $2 a month, you let me know. Once you get in there, please listen to the first episode so you know how to get in my subscribers only Facebook group for Apple, so you can engage the podcast and get the full uh, bang out of your subscription. Do not subscribe to me on Facebook because it's not the same. That's different. Just let me know that you subscribe. Once I confirm your subscription, then I'll add you into the subscribers group or whatnot. Like, that's it. You don't have to pay number one time. I know that was confusing. It's like, because you can subscribe to you on Facebook too. No, don't subscribe to me on Facebook. I have a subscribers only private hidden Facebook group. So um it's only gonna be for subscribers only. So I'll be flowing content through both mediums. Um and that's that. And with that being said, that brings us to the end of this episode. I want to thank you for sticking around with me. And like always, make sure y'all stay in peace, stay whole and not in pieces. This world is looking to heat you up and spit you out in pieces. Protect yourself, protect your peace, protect your life. It's been good and it's been well to hang out with y'all for another week, and I will see y'all later. Bye.